So this is my gantry crane that I've been building. This is the base plates for this side and that side, or the footers, or however you want. These are the end caps. They're just going to get welded to the end. Prevents water from stuff from getting in them. I have no plans for wheels or the ability for this thing to move without being torn apart or lifted by something else. Eventually I'll probably put wheels on it, but for right now I'm not too worried about it. It's just going to stay in the same spot for the majority of the time. Do gotta get a little cleaning to do. This is recycled metal. Got it off of the intraweb for a discount. Apparently it was used in some factory, I don't know. I believe this thing can probably weigh or hold 4 tons worth of weight once I get it all done. I'm not going to be pushing it that high. I'm only going to probably put at most 2 tons of pressure on this, mainly because I only have 2 1-ton gantry roller thingies. How I'm going to tie everything together and keep it, 3 separate pieces for moving and stuff like that is up on the top here. I have the same base plates, prevent water, but also add a little bit of structure. This angled section is going to get welded to the lateral or the uppermost beam. I'm going to drill a hole through this side and drill a hole through this plate right here and put a welded nut on the back side of this, so that way I can run a bolt through this and into this and tie these 2 sections together. I believe it should be fine with that alone, but I wanted to be a little bit more precautious. This needs to be 7 feet from this post to that post. That's why I'm doing it this way, because I need that 7 feet worth of distance between this one and that one. I could have, overlapped it this way, not have to worry about it, but I want that 7 feet. So to make my mind at ease, I went ahead and cut these gussets plates out of 1/4 inch flat plate. I'm going to weld this onto the top of that to create a T, and when I weld the rails to the bottom of this should push up against the rails and give it a little bit more strength from side to side motion, that kind of stuff. This is way overkill, but I'd rather be overkill than underkill. I'll probably be laying underneath of this thing. I don't want it to fall on me. As for the rails themselves, it is just 3x3 angle iron. Yeah, it's been marred up, but I should be able to fill that in with some weld. I went ahead and cut one of the sides shorter. That's so that way I can get these wheels as close as possible to the vertical support of the iron. The further it is out on these edges or these lips, the more it wants to push down and wants to bend the metal. So if you can bring it closer like this, it's going to be riding right in this groove as physically close as I can get it without metal on metal contact rubbing the entire time. The way that gantries work is they typically use I-beams. I-beams have a lot of vertical support. Tubing has a decent amount of vertical support, but also horizontal support. So it's really good at supporting weight up and down, but also side to side. I-beams have more vertical support than this tube does. I'm not using I-beams, I'm using square tubing. So these 1/4 inch angle iron, I don't want them to sit in the middle, because if they sit in the middle, there's no support that connects this side of the beam to the other side without going up the side of this and then going over here. So I need to get these out as far as I can towards the edge to utilize this whole 4 inches of 1/4 inch steel and then into this. Gives it a lot more strength, a lot more support. Problem with that is these are going to be upside down, but this is just a mock-up, that there's going to be a gap between this rail and this rail the further I get away from that. So I'm just going to use the material that I cut off from that angle iron and fill the gap. Filling that gap is just going to make this steel push up against this steel, so it doesn't want to bow in the middle like this. It wants to keep pushing up against each other. That's another reason why I-beams work so well, is if an I-beam is sitting like this and you're pulling weight down, it's pushing this side in and pushing that side in at the exact same time. With it being spaced like this, it's going to want to push that side in and this side in, and it's going to want to bow these towards each other, and that will just bend, and then you'll have the gantry fall through. So that's why I'm putting that plate in the middle, if the steel wants to sit correctly, in the middle like that, so when it pushes this way, there's something in the middle taking that load and putting it to the other side, so it's equally pushing up against each other. But yeah, it's pretty much the way I thought about that. And then these are the longer rails because I didn't have 7 feet worth of it, so I'll have to weld these to the end of that, but I'm not too worried about it. But what goes on over on this side is the exact same story over on that side. I don't know if I'm going to videotape me welding all this together. I might, but yeah, we'll get this built and see what happens.